From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on the Noon News. I'm Diane Parker. Miller has the forecast, plus a former Bozeman daycare worker is charged with assault. But first, our top story. Shocking new video showing a killer seconds before he murdered a man in Billings, sparking a Sunday night crime spree and police standoff. You'll see the suspect opening the door to the red Chevy Tahoe just before firing a single shot, killing a 45-year-old man. Now, earlier in the video, the suspect is seen checking a car in the front of the house before scrambling off when a light comes on. Then he moves around back to check the silver van before moving to the Tahoe. After shooting the victim, he pulls him out of the driver's seat and drives off. Nearby neighbors heard the whole thing.
Yeah, I was cooking dinner and I heard a boom and then a car squeal off, so I came outside and nothing was around. Obviously, the car took off.
The shooting happened at 6:02 but was never reported. Police only found out about it when they were tracking the crashed Tahoe they found at the Big B Casino. After the murder and carjacking, the suspect took off in the vehicle, crashing into a power line and parked cars at Big B Bingo. He escaped on foot, breaking into a house across the street while a party was going on. The suspect shot and wounded someone else as they were trying to leave that home. Then he barricaded himself inside, sparking that hours-long standoff that ended in his arrest. New information from the Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office this noon as a massive search effort is underway for a missing 77-year-old Billings woman with Alzheimer's. Search crews were out near I-90 between Billings and Laurel with a tracking dog until 9 o'clock last night, combing the area where Sherry Richtrick's jacket was found in tall brush, but no new leads on her whereabouts. A helicopter search launched Monday morning when she was first reported missing, but today efforts are focused on a gridded ground search. Sherry walked away from her home around 1 a.m. Monday. She lives there with her husband. In Bozeman, a former daycare worker is charged with assault of a child. According to an affidavit outlining a report from a co-worker, Aurora Hunter Patterson was seen shaking a crying baby's crib very aggressively while screaming. According to court documents, the baby's arms hit the bars of the crib and the child was almost rolling over completely. The child's father called police from Bozeman Deaconess Hospital, where his infant son was being treated. Hunter Patterson was released and will be seen again in February. The daycare fired her after this incident. A public safety levy is being proposed in Great Falls. The city's police chief is asking for nearly $4.5 million for different parts of the police department in an effort to prioritize public services as the city sees more crime, emergencies, and court traffic. An update on Montana's first Whole Foods store. An opening date is expected next month in Bozeman in the Gallatin Valley Mall. And the first 250 people in the door will get scratch and win gift cards. Missoula in Motion is in the middle of its Clean the Air Challenge this January. The annual event encourages people to choose more sustainable ways to transport, including carpooling, public transportation, and biking. Participants log their sustainable trips each week for a chance at prizes. Organizers say while it may be hard to choose alternative transportation in the winter, it is needed the most during colder months. And that's a look at some of the day's top stories.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hopefully a great day for you. Okay, so we've had some energy come through the state. Most of us not seeing much of any of that precipitation. The story today is hopefully more sunshine for the area and staying warmer than average in spots. We'll get up to a high today of 37 in Helena, 34 in Missoula, as well as Butte up at Cutbank trying to push near 40. The freezing mark, Havre at 32, 27 in Glasgow, 41 in Jordan. Billings up to about 46 this afternoon. That's a good 10 degrees above the norm. 41 in Cody, we'll go 42 in Sheridan. Down in Worland, we'll get into the mid 30s. So this little blast of energy not going to last, pulls out, high pressure takes over, making things dry as we move forward. Will we have winter anytime soon? We'll take a look coming up.
In Helena, legislation to boost statewide efforts to respond to the missing and murdered Indigenous peoples crisis is making its rounds in committee. MTN's Augusta McDonald reports.
You might recognize these photos. They're on billboards around the state. Photographer Jen Buckley is Chippewa Cree. She's behind the effort to keep the MMIW tragedy where no one will miss it.
You know, this issue has been impacting our people since the beginning of time. It's just recently it's been getting attention. And the red handprint symbolizes, the silence that our people have gone through, losing their people, and that solidarity of standing with them.
Buckley tells me she wanted to do more after helping with ground searches for Jermaine Charlo, a Native American woman who went missing in 2018 somewhere around Missoula.
When Jermaine went missing, it was so disorganized, and they still have no idea where she is. And it's the same with all the cases that have come up involving Native American women or people. It's just delayed, and just acknowledging that difference, we're not shaming anyone. It's just acknowledge the difference, and how do we move toward a solution?
She hopes efforts to fund training for local search and rescue groups passes at the Montana legislature.
I would encourage anyone to go out on a search. It's one thing to talk about it, and it's one thing to get your boots on the ground and do something about it.
Boots on the ground is what House Bill 18 seeks to support. The bill, brought by Browning Democrat Tyson Running Wolf, would establish a fund for grants to train community-based missing persons response teams.
This bill is meant to address a significant gap in our community's public safety efforts, ensuring that communities can help respond to instances of missing persons. While this bill is not limited strictly to missing Indigenous people, we know that Indigenous people go missing at drastically higher rates than other Montanans, and access to adequate training programs on reservations is a limiting factor.
The DOJ reports that number as 4 times as likely as Native communities push a long-standing atrocity to the forefront.
And we have folks that are Native film producers. We have folks that have all the right sound equipment. We have folks that know how to use databases. We have people that are on multimedia continuously posting and putting it out there. So it's also a movement of technology and knowledge and not being afraid to speak up.
This as Native Caucus members work on a broad swath of solutions. Democrat Senator Shane Morageau and Republican Senator Jason Small talked with me about other developments this session.
A lot of tribes are doing a lot of great things with economic development. And I think what you just mentioned as far as getting broadband and those sorts of things, those are huge for communities, especially rural communities that tend to be low income, right? Getting connected will help assist with a lot of these issues as well. When we talk about, education opportunities, opportunities to help with the MMIP team, in trying to get a rapid response for missing persons.
In Billings, Augusta McDonald, MTN News.